Hi guys, how we doing? So you seem to like the beta tank clean, so I gotta clean this guy anyway, so we'll do it on film as well. You are gonna hear my cat. I am right beside his room. He can hear me, but it has to be closed in because he will knock everything over. So that's gonna be a fun side note. But we're gonna get started on this pretty quick. So, much like with the beta tank, we start out with taking the decor out. Once again, we borrowed Kratos's tongs for this. Now, I won't be taking my money wort out. I may take this piece floating up here and put in my beta tank, but it's doing well where it's at, and we're not going to mess with that. But I want to do a quick clean and reset for all the decor. I really should have taken my sweatshirt off. Try and get all the rocks out of that. Deimos really has opinions about me being right here and not paying attention to him. You can see where the lid fell on my bottom feeder pellets, which is part of why I need to do a clean today. You see those little balls floating around? That's what that is. Oops, I uprooted my money wort, which means it's going to be floating all over the place, which is kind of okay. That's what it does. I'm also trying to get the jellyfish to let go. Now the jellyfish is in the money wort. Okay. Come here. Come here. Okay, I only uprooted part of my money wort, so that's okay, right? It's more of a floaty plant anyway. I wonder if we'll get to see my coolie loaches at all. They get a little upset when I mess with the tank. But they are the best bottom feeder you can get, in my opinion. I am a huge fan of them. Which, if you've never seen them, definitely look them up. If I see them pop out, I'll point them out, but they stay pretty well hidden. You can see that I have not done this tank in a while. And I don't do this tank nearly as much as any of my others because I do have a really phenomenal cleaning crew in here. Just kind of checking to see where you guys are seeing. Fun fact about that giant piece of decor, that is actually a part of that came from when my bearded dragon was a baby. He is way too big for it, and as soon as he started outgrowing it, it came out, and I decided to use it in my fish tank. And I just freaked out a Cory cat there. They are another excellent cleaner. And they're really stinking cute, which helps. Also, if you notice me giving everything a good shake, I do have breeding fish in here. They are, mollies and platies are both live bearers. I'm not trying to pull tiny fish out of the tank. I never know when they're going to decide to have babies. But it's easy to realize I have a whole lot of decor in here after a while. And that is not an accident. That is because I do keep breeding fish. I want to give those babies a chance to actually survive. So they need places to hide. You may also get to see my pleco, which he is not a standard pleco. Common plecos do not belong in a tank my size. I have a bristlenose. She's only going to get not much bigger than she actually already is. The fun thing with them, you can actually tell if you have a male or a female by whether they have the bristles on their nose or not. Mine has a smooth nose, so she is a female. Okay, most go lay down, Bubba's. What you guys can't see is the paw coming out from under the door because he is very upset with me right now. I have both of my jellyfish stuck in that plant. Lay down. Lay down. I'm missing a jellyfish. Where'd he go? Okay. How did that happen? Ah, there he is. Which excuse me, I do want to actually separate these guys. I bought them for my granddaughters, bought some for my granddaughter's tank, and there were just way more in the tank than I could use, than I could put for hers. Let's move my money wort out of my way. I am not a big planted tank person, but I think it is good for your fish to have one or two real plants in. Finding ones that are on your level of what you're able to keep is actually important, though. Let's see. This is me just making sure there are no fish in that decor. Ah, he moved. I was going to show you, and let's see if he's still under there. That little squiggly guy there that just took off is a coolie loach. And they max out at about 4 inches. Which I am a little concerned because I don't see my pleco. Oh, there he is. I'm just making sure we're not in here. I have had a fish get stuck in here a time or two, and I've had to get creative. And this is me just giving time for anybody who happens to be up in there to swim out. I think we are fishless in there now. We can pull that out. And we have an upset we have upset coolies, we have upset pleco, and upset cory cats. But now we can actually clean the tank. But first I've got to get rid of this box of stuff, so I will be right back. All right, so let's see what we can do about this gunky water I have left over. This actually, believe it or not, is not in bad shape. As I said, I do have a lot of cleaners in here. And yes, I know I should probably have a bigger hose, but most of the time when I clean this tank, I leave the decor in, and having the small hose lets me get between them. Now, if you're seeing this over here, this is actually moss. We're not taking that out. We are apparently annoying the heck out of my coolie loaches, though. I don't know if you guys can see what they are as they're moving around, but they are just the coolest little wormy guys that keep your rocks clean and hide up under your decor, and I will forever call them the coolest fish you'll never see. They're not bought for show, they're bought for strictly what they can do, and they do their job and they do it well. I have a lot of babies in my tank. Now, I am of the firm belief that if you're going to do a tank, you should do it the way you want it. It does not have to look like mine. I've had this tank going for a few years now, and I'm pretty happy with the balance in it. I'm actually still 100% in love with my weird black and multicolor rock. But I think Deimos decided he's tired of my nonsense and has decided to go take a nap or do something more interesting than listening to me talk. So that's a good thing. Now all I'm doing right now is I have some gook building up in here. If you ever have that happen, if you hit your bulb a couple of times, it'll usually clear it out. As I said, I haven't done this in a hot minute. It was due. But she's already starting to clear up a little bit. I don't want to take all of the gook off the base of the tank, just some of it. And then we're going to let her just drain probably take about 4 or 5 gallons off just to freshen it up. Sorry about that, guys. A quick little pause. One of my chinchillas was running so hard on his wheel that I thought somebody was knocking at the door. So, yeah, that happens sometimes. And I realized my bulb was slowing down the flow of water. We are to the point that I just want to pull some water off rather quickly. So, I have a neat little setup going here. So while this drains, I'm going to run and clean up my decor, and I will be back with you shortly. So while we are waiting patiently for this to drain off a little bit more, I am going to do something that I've been meaning to do for a hot minute now, and rescue my handy dandy thermometer. That got knocked in, I think, when I added my last batch of fish. I keep meaning to take it and fix it. I've never gotten around to it. Very, very important piece to have in any aquarium. And I tend to put it as far from my heater as I can, because I feel like that gives you a more true read of where your temperature sits. So that's where mine usually goes, and my heater is back here in this corner. So they are on opposite ends of the tank. But we have got to go empty our bucket, so I will be back with you shortly. So I'm actually pretty happy with where we're at as far as the amount of water we've taken out. What we are going to do is first, I'm going to shorten up my jellyfish, which is actually pretty easy. Whoever thought of this is a genius. I just want it to flow a little bit differently than where it's at. And I knew I had those tongs in my hand for a reason. I think we're going to put him right about here. I'm not going to shorten this guy up, we're just going to sink him down in there. And I am going to go get my decor, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we have decor, and what I generally do is I do all of my hard stuff first. Hard as in, like, actual physical decor as opposed to the plants. And that guy's always a bit of a challenge. And then he never wants to hang straight, because why would we? And this guy always goes right in the middle. Everything else kind of moves around, but this guy goes in the middle. He gets positioned differently each time, but I like to have a little fun with it and move things around and position things differently. Same as I said with the beta, it is actually good for the fish to have a little bit of a change of scenery periodically. It's kind of like when you move your furniture around in your house. It can be a little odd at first, but it does help in the long run. Now, if I can get hold of my longer stuff, all of my longer things go toward the back. And once again, I should have thought to take off my sweatshirt, and I did not, so we're going to try our best not to soak it. And why are you over here again, dude? I planted you over there. My jellyfish really want to be together, don't they? I have a few different longer pieces that I stick to the back, and that is almost entirely for my babies and my hiders. It just gives them a nice little forest that they can hide in and not get munched by the big guys. What are you hanging on? There we go. It still looks so very empty, doesn't it? And if you saw me put this particular plant in my other tank, you absolutely did. This is one plant that I have in every single one of my tanks. And when I build my new one, it will go in there as well. It's just a personal thing. I love that plant. It's pretty. It seems to last well. Actually, you're going to go to the back. Pardon me as I knock stuff over. And I also do this knowing that my fish will rearrange things, whether I want them to or not. Where did your base go? Why do you not have a base? Same with you. You have bases going in. That happens. It's not really that big of a deal, but it happens. It's just one of those mildly annoying things. Now, if you notice, I did pretty much immediately hide my moss. That moss is not in there for me. It's not a decor thing. It's healthy for the fish. Let go. Let's see. I need another base. I have another piece of decor missing a base. Alright. Interesting. Well, he seems to just not have a base, and we're going to just go with it, because why not? Actually, we seem to be missing the rest of the plant, unless, oh, could have paid more attention, and I would have caught that one real quick. You gotta have a sense of humor. If you take things too seriously, you're not going to enjoy life. I am a big fan of enjoying life. I thought I had two of that guy. I guess I don't. We'll do this guy over here. And mostly at this point, we're just filling holes. But you can kind of see she's taking shape, slowly but surely. I am trying to figure out. Oh, it's a reflection of a doorknob. Okay. I had a moment. I was seeing something in you guys' point of view that I wasn't seeing in mine, and I was trying really hard to figure out what in the world it was. And it's a reflection of a doorknob. So yeah, that happens. Now we're just poking things in until we get everybody nice and full. I try not to put two of the exact same plant in the same spot, just because that gets a little dull. Get in the ground, my dude. Seriously. I talk to everything. Animals, to fake plants, inanimate objects of varying type. It's just who I am. And Deimos has returned. And he is doing his best to sound absolutely pitiful. He is not suffering, I promise. He's also not running headfirst into everything and making an absolute mess trying to get my attention, which is what he would do out here. Me and that plant are just not going to get along today. And I promise I do wash my tongs before I use them to feed the beardy again. Though seeing as he eats bugs, I don't think he would really notice one way or the other. He would probably eat fish if I gave him half a chance, but fish are not a natural part of his diet, so we don't do that. And if I have not mentioned before, or if you haven't heard me mention before, Kratos is my bearded dragon. These are his tongs that I give him bugs with. But he has already been fed for the day, so he will be just fine. So long as they get cleaned before he gets fed again tomorrow. Dude. Well, we're getting to the point where I can just about and this is where I know a lot of people don't keep tanks because this is stuff you have to do periodically. I live for this. I so enjoy resetting my tanks and making them bright and colorful and pretty and getting nibbled on by fish in the process, apparently. It's fun, in my opinion. I like the bright colors and the fun things and the little critters swimming around checking out what you're doing. The cat's going spastic on the other side of the door trying to figure out why they can't get out. And apparently, I'm trying to make myself fall over. Thankfully, we're almost done. I only have a couple of plants left to do. Let's see how we're doing time-wise. Well, we've been at this for a minute. Well, if I'm late for my live, you know why. At least today I have a good excuse, right? A lot of times I'm late for my live is just I lost track of time. Time management is not one of my big skills. I have a lot of skills. That is not one of them. I procrastinate with the best of them. A weird bare patch over here. I think we're going to use the rest of my plants to fill it up. I only have a couple. And just shove my money wood around a little bit. Toss that guy in there, and that guy in there. Those are also there for the babies. Because if we haven't figured out by now, the priority in this tank is my baby fish. now for the fun part. Now, in my opinion, there is not a wrong way to do this. I may have to kick you guys up just a bit so you can actually see what we're doing now. And being in this hallway, if you see something other than my fish tank and me, no you didn't. If you've been around the channel a while, you probably know what I'm talking about. I have to charge the battery on this light right above my head a couple times a week. So I didn't end up taking out as much water as I thought I was going to. But I really did, I have a lot of babies in here right now, and I did not want to overly upset them. Though right now they're having an absolute ball in the bubbles. Just like the other tank, it will take it a little while to clear back up. But I don't know about you guys, I can already see a big difference. Let's see. It's 3 gallons. And I think I might leave it at the 3 gallons. I don't think I'm going to put the 4th in. I always like to leave a little gap because you never know when somebody's going to decide to be a jumper. But now we can just kind of watch for a minute and see the fish rediscovering everything. They really are neat little animals. They're one of my favorite things. I've always loved keeping fish. And that is why I don't fill my tanks all the way. But I'm going to let you guys hang out for just a second. I'm going to run and grab some paper towels. I will be right back. I'm not going to pause the video this time. Same as with the beta tank. I can't just leave the mess. I have to clean it up. So she gets a wipe down here. Now, I did not wipe down the inside of the glass on this case like I did the other. But that is because my my little bristlenose, she does a much better job than my snails do. So I don't really have nearly the residue on the front of the inside of this tank that I do on my beta tank. I mean, I'm sure there is some there, but it's just not quite as much. She's already starting to clear up, and the fish seem happy. They've got their new environment to explore. And I will pop a short up later once this has had time to completely settle in. And I will talk to you guys in a few minutes when I go live.